We heard that it was raining around Calgary, and I thought, oh, no big deal, right? But within like a day, the entire picture had changed.
I don't think anybody was expecting the severity of the storm.
When we started to reach out to the local people, we began to understand that the Calgary downtown area was completely flooded by water.
We ended up with the water overflowing the banks of the Elbow River, as well as having water coming from the Bow River. And the two combined to fill this building up to about row 8 or row 9, and it happened really quickly.
Normally, towns or sections of towns get hit with these storms. High River was the whole town. People were experiencing 12, 14 feet of water and sewage in their homes. It was unbelievable. I'd never seen anything like it.
100% of the residents of High River were affected.
People basically were not able to come into the office for about a week, and until that was open again, they did work out of Mike Gilnicki, the claim director's home.
Ultimately, the RSA team really came together, knowing that we had our friends at Johnson who were going through the same thing.
We joined forces so that we were coordinating contractors together, that we were coordinating the use of adjusters together.
Our team became a lot larger than what I had thought of the scope before. So we had people from the Maritimes and from Ontario and from Edmonton that came down and assisted.
I was asked to take the claims van and to head down towards the High River.
And we spent a balance of about 9 days there where we just set up some snacks, some drinks, and really just a place for people to come and ask us questions.
People were looking for the Red Cross office. They were looking for disaster relief centers. They were just looking for anything and any information that they could get.
And one was a lady who was in a walker and living alone, and she showed up at our door, not one of our policy holders, and just so distraught. She had lost her kitten, and at that point in her life, that was her companion, and her devastation over that really was very impactful on both myself and Michelle.
These are people's lives. And in a case like this, it is their life. It's everything they have.
RSA saw a number of ways that we could help out. We made a significant donation to the Red Cross. We had volunteers in High River. The staff that wasn't working or was unable to work because of their line of business and their expertise, they were able to go out and volunteer and to help their neighbor out.
My staff were working long hours, I'd say for a good 2-week time period on the Calgary flooding. And then on July 8th, the Ontario flood hit.
When that second storm hit, I was actually just trying to pack because I was going back to Alberta. The power went out in both offices, but this time the volume of claims that came in was probably twice the magnitude of the claims we had in Alberta.
Hundreds upon hundreds of calls with no power. And it was really all hands on deck at that point.
Every department came and helped. We had people, even from Human Resource, that came up to see us to actually do phone calls. And every other province helped. We had people from other country that works for RSA that flew in and came and helped us out.
The response was overwhelming from both the UK and from the Scandinavian countries. And yes, we do have some resources, and then it was working through that processes to getting the resources here in Canada.
We knew at the very beginning this was going to be a very difficult time for our internal staff members. Their job, of course, is to provide the best possible customer service, but it's also important for us to ensure that they are at their best. We strongly encourage them to take time off, replenish their batteries, so that they were sure that they were at their best.
But for being able to draw all those resources in, we really would have struggled to be able to deliver the service we promise.
One of our contractors sent us an email one day saying that they are still waiting for some of our competitors to make coverage decisions, and we were able to make ours within the first week.
RSA handled the catastrophe the best out of all our markets. They exceeded my expectations.
In the Canadian business, this has been the largest catastrophe summer we have ever had. And we have been able to, I think, give brilliant service throughout because of our people.
We had one daughter who has a father who has dementia. Every 5 minutes, he kept thinking that he was having the world end because they had 5 feet of water in their basement. And it struck me because my grandmother has dementia, and I understood how she was struggling with this. I was able to go over to an examiner and say, look, can we do something? We just need someone to get there and help. So he had a little peace and he could get back into the home.
I had one lady actually give me a hug, which is kind of unprecedented. Most insureds don't hug their adjusters. But she actually gave me a hug and said, you know, thank you so much for everything you've done.
You learn who your friends are when the going gets tough. And so RSA was certainly a friend to us.
Oftentimes, we don't really take credit for a lot of the great stuff that we're able to do for customers. But in this instance, we've got tons and tons and tons of great responses from people because we're there for them.